Good evening. I'm Storm Teammate Meteorologist Erika Martin with an update on your weather on WXEdge.com. You guys know Kel Staten. He needs no introduction. He is the sports director, or the executive producer, really, of SportsEdge.com, and we're talking high school football playoffs this weekend.
High school football, can't wait. It's going to be really exciting this Saturday. A lot of people are going to be going out to the games.
Yeah, and well, the big thing right now is it's warm today. It was warm today. It's warm tomorrow, and still trending warm on Friday. But we do have some showers, a light wintry mix. A cold front moves through. Colder temperatures by Saturday. And I know you've always talked about those colder temperatures affecting players.
Could be very big depending on what style of play you have. If you're a running team, I think that helps those teams in the cold. If you're a passing team, a little tougher to catch the ball, throw the ball, tougher surfaces, tougher to run on those tight patterns and stuff. So I think that definitely affects the game. The weather is a big part.
Weather's a big part. So, of course, let's go ahead and start with Kels's presentation. He's going to talk a little bit about what he's thinking as far as these games go, and he'll tell us about game time. So WXEdge.com for all of your weather updates.
Well, first off, Erica, Class L, huge matchup is Ridgefield, number 8 seed. They took out Newtown in the first round. Huge upset in that one. They're 10-2 on the year, playing the FCAC. FCAC teams are 3-0 so far in the playoffs, and they'll be taking on Southington, who's 10-1, big-time offense with the quarterback Stephen Barmore, and their defense shut down NFA's Marcus Outlaw, who is probably the top-rated running back in the state. So that was a huge win for them, obviously, moving on to the semifinals. Also, you got Fairfield Prep taking on West Haven. Prep likes to pass the ball a lot, beat Glastonbury 33-23. Good quarterback. I think West Haven, the running game, that's the matchup that could be most affected by weather, because West Haven is so good on the ground. They have 3 great players when you look at Urban Phillips and Dwayne Gary and also Marchant Little. Those 3 guys really run the ball well. So I think depending on the weather, it could be something that might impact the game and the result in that one.
Okay, and we're going to go through our hour-by-hour forecast because we do have a light precipitation moving through that actually could get a little bit heavier, and it looks like a wintry mix possible. But hang on to that thought for just 1 second. I know he wants to tell everybody his thoughts really quickly, but let's go ahead and jump to the next game, or the next graphic here.
Next set of games here is number 1 Darien, 11-1 this year. Won on a game-winning field goal last time over Daniel Hand. Very exciting game in that one. They'll be taking on Middletown, who has probably the most exciting quarterback in the state, basically, when you take a look at Dario Highsmith, a really explosive player, and they beat New London 49-14. That game will be at Pomperaug High in Southbury. And then number 3, New Canaan, 12-1, beat a good Farmington team 46-0 in round 1. Like I said, the FCAC 3-0 in the tournament, and this is a championship caliber team. They'll be taking on North Haven, which is a team that runs the ball a lot. Beat Platt 35-0. Their running game has been so good. It's tricked our cameramen at times this season. It's tricked John Pearson out there at the games. He's been trying to follow him and just been missing where the ball is. So
interesting.
Another interesting matchup, and I think especially when you look at New Canaan, who has a good quarterback, good passing game, and North Haven really runs the ball a lot. Another game that could be affected by weather.
Okay, so they checked out there. They kind of gave John a hard time, so let's see what happens there, right?
I feel bad for him. I feel bad for whoever's shooting.
Oh, John can handle it. Okay, let's go on to the next graphic here. So what set of games here going on?
Here we got Valley Regional, 12-0, taking on Brookfield, top-seeded Valley Regional, outstanding passing game. Brookfield edged Bethel 22-21 in round 1. That game is going to be taking place in Cheshire, and Brookfield, another team that really runs the ball well. St. Joseph, 11-2. They scored 84 points. 84 points.
Wow. When was this?
Game. The first round on Tuesday, 84-46, one of the craziest scores we've ever seen. We'll see if they can keep it up against Joel Barlow, who's 10-2. Good team as well, like to run the ball very well.
Okay, and so now let's talk about the weather there. How do you think that's going to affect
that game will be played in Stratford at Bunnell High School. So I think if the weather's a little colder, I think it's going to benefit Barlow, who has a great running game. They've been on my top plays a few times because they've been able to take some balls down the field. Yes,
okay.
But still, I've seen a lot of their games, and they play really well. And they're tricker. They like the trickeration. You know, they like tricking people.
Like they're
on
quick
defense.
thinkers, like a shrewd team. In other words,
they'll come up with a game plan or a scheme that might confuse St. Joseph, even though St. Joseph scored.
Did we give away all those secrets now? Let's not. Let's go to the next one. All right, Bloomfield.
Bloomfield, the 8 seed, coming in at 10-2. They crushed Capital Prep 27-3. Shocking win for them over top-seeded Capital Prep, who was number 1 over Ansonia, which we'll get to that in a second. But Woodland, 11-2. This game is going to be played in Wolcott. Great fans for Woodland. I think they'll definitely travel up to the game. Woodland beat Morgan, a good Morgan team, 10-1 Morgan team, 47-21 last round. So that should be a really exciting game. Rocky Hill, this is the big one that I think a lot of people are going to be watching. 11-1 Rocky Hill beat Prince Tech 51-8 last week, but they're huge underdogs as they take on 11-0 Ansonia. That game's in Wallingford, and Arkel Newsom, 7 touchdowns in back-to-back games, 499 yards. He's just ridiculous.
Well, my sister went to Rocky Hill High, and so did my cousins Loxley and Marley. So
we know
I'm sure they're. Exactly. I have to kind of just say, all right. I'm not going to say much though. I do the weather.
Yeah.
So you're feeling excited about this game?
Yeah, that's going to be a great game. I think. Good luck to Rocky Hill stopping Ansonia's running game. But I think, the ball always bounces crazy ways in the playoffs. Anything can happen. And I think 11-1, if you're 11-1, you're coming into that game thinking nobody believes we can win, the nobody believes in us factor. I think that could play a role.
Interesting. Okay,
no respect.
Well, they're going to get some soon. So now let's go ahead hour by hour. We're going to move this out 72 hours. We're starting this tonight because you can see here, Kels, those clouds starting to develop and some passing showers early tomorrow. That's not really the big concern. I'm going to pause this at 8 p.m. on Friday. We're seeing a little bit of a changeover for the northwestern portion of the state. Now, this isn't to say that everybody else isn't going to see a changeover. In fact, I do think that a lot of Connecticut will see a wintry mix there, especially through the overnight hours, and it could be a little surprising. We might see some light accumulation out there, but you can see that the system clears out by early Saturday, and by 2 p.m. this is game time pretty much. So it looks like we're seeing partly cloudy, mostly clear skies, and in fact hour by hour highlighting mostly clear skies. But the big concern there would be, I think we're going to see that wintry mix, that changeover, some freezing rain, some light snow. We could even see some patches of accumulated snowfall. So what are your thoughts?
That could really impact games because I think the passing teams, like I talked about, the team that scored, St. Joseph scored 84 points. They're not scoring 84 points in a wintry mix out there with those field conditions. So that could be a big advantage for teams like Barlow and Ansonia, teams that like to run the ball, Brookfield. So I think North Haven especially, that could be a big advantage for those teams in those games.
Okay, so that's something to be mindful of. And now, earlier on in the day on Saturday, what's going on that people need to know about, especially as that rain and that mix and that light snow continues to move out the state? Anything early?
Well, I think you look at the different game locations. Obviously, the Ansonia Rocky Hill game in Wallingford. You got Bloomfield and Woodland and Wolcott.
Right.
Different places around the state. So I think depending on where you are, maybe different weather conditions. I'm not sure as it moves through.
Oh, of course.
But, so yeah, I think depending on game times and when it starts, could impact,
Right, but there's that cold front, so that's really the biggest concern right now is where are we going to see more of that like light snow developing and settling, or those icy patches? I mean, that's going to be a big concern, big issue.
And depending on where it happens, could affect the game because again, if it happens in a game like we said, Valley Regional and Brookfield. Both teams really good at running the ball. That's not going to be a big issue. Defense is both good there. But in a game, like we said, St. Joseph's and Joel Barlow, that's a huge impact, huge difference. Time, when the weather comes in, it's going to make a big difference as to what happens.
But, I mean, we're New Englanders. We're used to this. Everybody's used to this around here. I'm sure they've all practiced in this type of weather or these various climates and weather conditions. So I think they're all ready.
I think they
Overall?
are. It should be great games.
Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the expected highs for that day. So our 2-day forecast, on Saturday, we're seeing a high of 40. It looks like upper 30s to low 40s. So I was being a little generous there with that 40. Models are kind of coming in a little bit lower there. That cold front moves through. The winds don't seem to be an issue. That light AM mix with that light accumulation possible. So what are you thinking about as far as temperatures?
Should be good for the fans in the stands. I think once you're playing the game, you're out there. I don't care if it's like 0 degrees. You're out there, you're going hard. The weather doesn't impact you as far as that goes.
Okay, so it's all about the fans, of course, and the players. And you can always log on to WXEdge.com. Again, this is the SportsEdge.com executive producer. He is, you all know Kels Erika, and he needs no introduction at all. And he has, of course, more updates for you on SportsEdge.com. He'll be keeping you up to date until the game. And in fact, you do work on Saturday, right?
That's right.
So you'll have all those updates. And Eric Gilbratz, who's going to be there?
He'll be in.
John.
Eric, Noah, John, full house.
Everybody's going to be here because it's a huge day. So keep that in mind, WXEdge.com for all of your weather updates. Kels will be back next week with some more sports talk. What are you going to talk next week?
I think we're going to be talking about maybe the championship games in high school football. So maybe how the weather is going to impact those, and we'll see if any of those running teams move on. Cold weather, gonna be very interesting.
Let's see if his prediction is right. All right, so we'll see you soon. Bye.